Hey everybody, welcome to Free Range Art Farm. So we're out in the apiary today. It is June 3rd, 2022. What time is it? About 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's, I don't know, upper 70s, a little bit overcast. But otherwise a decent day. The girls are out flying, getting stuff. So no specific plan today, just gonna do some basic checks, see if anybody needs another super. I think I might do a little equalizing of my resource hive over there, because I've got the left side is like full of bees and the right side is falling behind. So I'm going to probably move some resources from one side to the other to try and keep them balanced. I'm not really sure what I'm going to put on film today. Just if I see something cool, I will share it with you guys. So stand by. Yeah, so you can see here, this side is just full of bees, and out front, they're bearding out front. So we're just gonna take some resources and bees and move them over to this side. I'm not concerned about them fighting over the resources or when I move the bees over. I think they'll be okay. I've done it before. I know that's how Bob Benny does it when he equalizes his colonies. Now, of course, he doesn't do it during a flow. He does it early in the season, but that's all right. We'll see how it goes. These are kind of my experimental hives a little bit anyway. So I think this top box is probably fairly empty. Ah, they're starting to build comb over here on this one. Both sides there. Watch out, little girl. There you go. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, you are propolized down some. Alright, they're building comb on this, and they have some capped honey over here. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. And the queen has laid up here. Wow. We've got eggs up here. So yeah, this hive is doing super well. I mean, the queen made it up 3 boxes up to lay. So I've been fortunate. None of my other colonies have needed any of these resources this year. Oh, this is a heavy frame. Holy cow. Alright, this has some brood and lots of capped honey. Look at that. Got some emerging brood, but lots of honey. How are we doing on this side here? Same thing, capped brood, lots of honey. Wow. I could move this over. See, we got some cups down here. I don't see anything in them, so yeah, this is emerging brood and lots of bees, so I think we might move this one over. Let's just go ahead and do that. We'll just put these girls right in here. And how's this one doing? Doing the same. What I didn't mention is I took a good look at this frame here that I just put in. Made sure the queen was not on it. So there's no queen. On this one. I may give these girls that frame of eggs too, just for the hell of it. I think I will. Let's move. Yeah, this is empty here. So I'll move this over. And we'll give them all these eggs. Now, since there are eggs right here, I am going to double check, triple check, quadruple check. The queen was here, like fairly recently, but I don't see her. Looks like she was here a couple days ago, because these eggs are laying down. All right, gang, we're gonna take a quick look at my lazy colony. So I'm thinking I want your opinion on this. Should I requeen this colony? Last year, they were slightly assertive and aggressive, and they were just poor wax builders. They just didn't build comb. And guess what? This year, they are a little bit less aggressive, but they're still just as lazy about building comb as they were. So let's get in here and see. We've got a good healthy number. Lots of girls. All right, let's put this down here. Now this one, I gave them this box that had drawn comb in it. I think it was all drawn. But like, this is empty. There's a little bit of nectar in there. Let's see. Move in a little bit. This has some nectar. It's getting there. This has a bit more. That's capped, so that's good. This one's getting there. About as capped as the other one. This one feels heavier. So that's almost fully capped. All right, so they do okay with drawn comb. So I gave them up here for this super. But I put a bunch of empty frames down below, just foundation. And hoping they would fill it because, you know, it's a little bit lower. Oh, goodness. There we go. And this is heavy. Alright, can y'all still see? I think you're fine. So let's see what we've got. They certainly don't like being smoked. That is for sure. Alright. There's just not a lot of girls up here doing much. And this is supposed to be, you know, for brood and resources. There's just nothing on this frame. Nothing on this frame. A little bit on here. So they've drawn this out in like 3 weeks. I mean, the queen seems, you know, she lays a decent pattern. You know, she lays okay. But her girls just don't build wax. Yeah, so there's good looking stuff here, good looking stuff here. Alright, so, but I gave them these two were empty. And, yeah, still empty, both of those. This one may have been empty and they've built a little bit on it. But goodness, girls, like, figure it out, right? Alright, let's see what the brood box is looking like, because they have a couple of empty frames in the brood box as well. Just foundation, rather. Goodness. Yeah, see, this is nowhere near as heavy as that other box. So even though I have that on as a super, I don't think I'm going to be able to harvest anything from these girls this year, which that's fine. But so I don't know. Should I requeen? Like, do we think the queen genetics affect wax building? I feel like they built this up, so that's something. Can you even see what I'm showing you? Let me angle you down some. There we go. So they built this up, but not a lot. And then if you take a look, that may have already been that way. This frame, they've just done nothing with it. Nothing. Like, I mean, you be you, girls, but you gotta, like, build a house if you want to live in it. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe they're spoiled because I gave them some of that Better Bee comb early on, and they're like, why don't you just give us some of that? I want a prefab home. I mean, we got a good brood pattern from this queen. I mean, these girls aren't super aggressive or anything, but, you know, they don't like to play around too much. If I stay in their colony for very long, they get a little grumpy. But I mean, look at that brood pattern. She's making lots of babies. Like, I don't want to get rid of her just because they don't make wax. I don't know. I'll give her another year. I mean, she's getting older anyway. This was a swarm that I caught, but they requeened shortly after I caught them. Yeah, this frame looks like this was a bunch of emerged. Let me take a look. I don't see anything new laid in this yet, but I assume the queen will get to it wherever she is. Same thing here, this all emerged out. They're just polishing those cells, so. But then we get into more of this undrawn comb. So this one's Better Bee. So we got a bunch of pollen in here. There's our queen. You see her right there? She's a little girl, but I mean, she has a good brood pattern. She's looking for a place to lay. You're in the wrong frame for that, honey. I know, your girls don't build wax. You gotta have a talk to them. Alright, let me be careful setting this back in. I don't feel like I have to worry too much about crushing her because this next frame, empty. Just a little bit of wax. I checkerboarded these, hopefully to inspire them to build wax. And you can see there's wax here. I gave them that. Next one over is empty. Alright, so let's watch. We'll be careful here. Queenie. There. Alright, well, I'd love your opinion on these girls. Should I try a new queen? Should I leave her alone? And like I said, last year, they're the same thing. They just did not build. They didn't build any comb. So, don't know. Alright, let me get these girls put to bed. Alright, I want to try and show you this if I can. So, I pulled this off and there was some drone brood up here, and you can see there's a mite right here on this one. So that's something you should check. Whenever you pull comb apart and you get some drone brood, take some quick looks and see if you see any mites. I mean, one mite isn't a huge thing to be concerned about, but it's you know, it's just something to be mindful of. So, little mite right there, that one might be dead, it hasn't moved. Alright, so this is the colony that I just showed you that that drone from with the mite on them. I just put this super on last week. This is actually the colony that went queenless over winter, and they're bouncing back. You know, we gave them a super, and they're building comb and filling it up here in the top. And they've got a double deep that they filled, so I usually run a deep and a medium to overwinter. But they're building. So maybe we'll get a little bit of honey from these girls this year, but you know, maybe not. It's all good. So I think I'm going to tear into this a little bit further and take a deeper look. If I see anything interesting, I'll let you guys know. Alright, let's see if it's still around. I just saw a nice large European hornet. Ah, there he is. Look at him. Look at him, that little jerk. Well, they are rather perturbed at me today. I think it's safe to take my hood off. Now that I say that, I got a girl buzzing around me. I'm gonna keep my veil on, because, you know, I don't want to get stung in the face. I tell you what, you know, even during a flow, some of these girls, it's fairly easy to get them kind of wound up. But that's all right. So, Didn't have to add any supers to any of the colonies, which that's fine. I didn't think I would, but I thought I'd bring some because every time I don't bring some out, I need to add some. So maybe I should not bring them out. That way I have to add more, and then we'll get lots of honey this year. But everything's looking pretty good out in the colony, or in the apiary here. I did equalize the resource colonies. We'll see how that turns out. They were a little upset at me. I think, there's probably a couple little bits of fighting, but for the most part, they get along pretty well when, when you do that. So my pink split, they're doing well. They're starting to build up in that top super, so they're getting there. The other colonies, they were doing okay. They're getting there. My lazy turquoise swarm is still lazy. So I do want your opinion on that, guys. Should I requeen? Again, they're not super aggressive, but they're kind of aggressive. But they're not bad. And she's got a great brood pattern. They just don't lay, or they don't make wax. Like, I don't know. Figure it out. It's your job. Anyway, everything's looking pretty good out in the apiary. I have no real complaints. I mean, lazy colony, I've been complaining about them for 2 years now, 2 seasons. We did get to see a European hornet, big sucker, came around and actually fed on one of the poor bees that I squished. I was going to squish the hornet, but he flew away before I had a chance to squish him. So unfortunately, he knows there's food over here now, so we'll see how that goes. But if he's just picking off 1 or 2, they're not a big threat. But that was interesting. I think that's the first time I've seen a good-sized hornet in the apiary. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Be good, be well, be safe, be happy, be true to yourselves, and as always, be mindful of the bees. We need them, even when they're pissed at you. Thanks.